Have you ever felt like one small problem became your whole world? Have you ever been so stressed that everything around you started to feel smaller and smaller? You sit down to work, but your mind is already tired before the day even begins. The clock keeps moving, and it feels like you are always running out of time. There is always one more thing to do, one more worry to write down. Maybe you argued with someone today, and it still sits heavy in your chest. We rush from place to place, carrying our problems everywhere we go. And at night, the thoughts just keep spinning, around and around. Sometimes, life starts to feel like a tiny box we cannot get out of. When everything piles up, it is easy to feel small and stuck. But what if there is a bigger way to see all of this? What if the answer is not making your problem smaller, but making your view of life bigger? There is a place where people go and come back completely changed. Astronauts who travel into space often return with a new way of thinking, because out there, they see something most humans never will. They see Earth as one tiny, glowing home. Down here, our world feels huge. We barely look up from our screens. We are always in a hurry, always checking the time, stuck in traffic, stuck in routine, stuck in the same stress. Work piles up. The noise never seems to stop. We compare ourselves to everyone else, and we always feel like we fall short. Days blur together, and somewhere along the way, we forget to really see. Small disagreements turn into big arguments that drain our energy. We walk the same circle every day, rarely stopping to ask why. At night, our minds replay every worry instead of resting. There is always another task, another list, another deadline. But every now and then, something makes us pause and look up. A quiet moment by the window, a glance at the open sky. Our stickman picks up a small globe and really looks at it. He slowly spins it, curious about the whole world in his hands. He finds the tiny dot where he lives. So small, yet it holds his entire life. And he wonders, if the whole world fits in my hands, how big are my problems really? A new idea begins to grow. What if he could see Earth from far away? His imagination lifts off, reaching toward the stars. He holds up a little rocket, and a quiet dream begins to take shape. So he decides to take the journey, at least in his mind, all the way up to space. It starts with a telescope and a curiosity about what lies beyond. He looks closer, and the night sky suddenly feels alive. A single planet glows in the distance, and his wonder grows. He studies the path, mapping the way from home to the stars. He picks up an astronaut helmet, the doorway to a new view. He puts it on, nervous but ready for something bigger. He steps toward the rocket, leaving the ordinary world behind. Inside, a simple control panel waits, glowing softly. He takes his seat by the window, heart beating with excitement. With one gentle press, the journey truly begins. The rocket rumbles, and the ground starts to shake beneath him. Through the window, the world below begins to fall away. Clouds rush past, and the sky opens wider than he ever imagined. The blue of the sky slowly fades into something deeper. Then, the first stars appear, and the sky turns to endless black. Gravity lets go, and for the first time, he floats. Everything feels light here, even the weight he was carrying. He drifts toward the window, drawn to something he cannot yet see. He places his hands on the glass and looks out into space. And then, a soft blue light begins to fill his eyes. There it is. The whole Earth floating quietly in the dark, one small glowing blue planet holding everything he has ever known. For a moment, there are no words, only silence and awe. White clouds drift over deep blue oceans, soft and alive. A quiet tear forms, not from sadness, but from wonder. His heart feels full in a way he cannot quite explain. From here, there are no borders, no lines dividing the land, no countries arguing, just one planet shared by everyone. He notices the thin glowing layer of air, the only thing keeping us safe. He raises his thumb and it covers the entire world. Around it, only endless darkness. Earth looks so small and so precious. All his stress, his deadlines, his worries suddenly look tiny too. And gently, those heavy feelings begin to drift away. He places a hand on his heart, grateful for this fragile home. A golden sunrise glows along the edge of the planet. He looks from Earth to the stars, feeling both small and connected. He reaches out, wishing he could hold the whole world safe. He closes his eyes and lets the peace settle deep inside. When he opens them again, something has changed in him. He sees it clearly now. We are all part of the same family. He smiles softly, understanding something he cannot unsee. He writes a single word to remember this feeling forever. One simple word. Home. That is what Earth truly is. He takes one last long look, holding the moment close. The glow of Earth stays with him, changing the way he sees everything. From space, the map has no borders, just one connected world. So the arguments that once felt huge begin to feel much smaller. He thinks of the forests, quietly giving us air to breathe. He thinks of the oceans, vast and full of life. He thinks of the cities, glowing with millions of stories like his own. He thinks of every animal that shares this single home. And he sees how deeply all of us are connected. That thin layer of air protects every one of us, together. He looks back at the real Earth and makes a quiet decision. He feels like he belongs to something much bigger than himself. Worries pass like clouds. They come and they go. Next to this calm planet, his old stress looks so very small. He breathes out and lets the heaviness go. He realizes even his small, kind actions truly matter. A little kindness can light up the world, like a single candle. He makes a quiet promise to carry this feeling back home. One last peaceful look, full of understanding. It is time to return, but he will not be the same. He settles back in, calm and grounded, and as the journey ends, he carries the bitter picture with him. Back on the ground, the world looks the same, but he does not. He sets the journey aside, but keeps the lesson close. The same desk, the same screens, but a calmer mind. When the notifications come, he no longer rushes to react. When a disagreement starts, he pauses before he speaks. He listens more because every person is part of his world too. Time still moves, but he no longer lets it control him. He helps where he can, with a little more patience and care. Sometimes he puts the phone away and chooses to be present. He looks up at the sky now and remembers what he saw. He takes care of small things, knowing they are part of something bigger. He gives himself a moment to simply be and to breathe. A slow breath in, a slow breath out. The bigger picture stays with him. He looks at the globe again, and this time he smiles, because he finally understands what it really means. We may never travel to space, but we can still learn what astronauts learn. We can choose to lift our eyes and see the wider world. We can remember that we all share one small, fragile home. And when life feels too big, we can find peace in that bigger view. Sometimes your life does not need to get smaller, your perspective needs to get bigger.